Week 18 gives us some great matchups and some playoff stakes. Seeding is on the line. Let's go over the important matchups and my predictions for what I think the outcomes will be. Let's start off with some of the games that have lesser importance, but still some level of importance as far as seeding goes for the playoffs. The Bears are facing the Lions on Sunday, and the Philadelphia Eagles will be facing the Commanders. The Bears are the number 2 seed in the NFC, with Philly trailing them as the third. Now, the outcomes are on the table. If the Bears win versus the Lions, or if the Eagles lose versus the Commanders, only one of these needs to happen for this outcome to be true. The Bears would be the second seed. Eagles would stay in the 3 seed. Chicago would then face the Packers in the playoffs, and the Eagles would face either the 49ers or the Seahawks, whoever loses their matchup. So, I think that this is very likely that the Bears keep the 2 seed because both of these don't have to happen. Considering just one of them has to happen, I think it is very likely that it goes their way. And I say go their way because I think they want this number 2 seed. I think they want to face this Packers team once again. I think they are confident enough that they get the job done once again. Their first game versus the Packers, they lost close. The second time, they had the comeback. I think they have the momentum in the matchup, and I think they have enough film of a losing game and a game that they should have lost to get over this Packers team and actually have a more solid 4-quarter play versus them. So they want to face that Packers team again. So they're going to try their hardest to win that game on Sunday, regardless of the Philly game. And as far as the Philly games go, the Philly game versus the Commanders, I think they're sitting some of their starters as if they're content with taking that 3 seed, which is kind of weird because I think NFL fans can agree on the fact that the difference between the 49ers or the Seahawks and the Packers is pretty substantial. I think they are different football teams. And I think the Eagles, I would think they'd be more confident facing the Packers. They've beat them in the playoffs before. And the Seahawks and the Niners are no joke, you know? But who knows? I just think one of those outcomes is very possible to happen, and that the Bears will be facing the Packers, and the Eagles would be facing the loser of the NFC West title game. Now, let's move forward to a game that is a one-game decider. Division title on the line in a home playoff game in the balance. I am, of course, talking about your NFC South. Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who wants that 4 seed? This game is going to be a close game, I think, for most of the game. I think this is a game that a lot of people could suspect Carolina comes out punching, surprises the world, because I think it is known that they are a straight up worst team in the BUCS. At least as far as my opinion goes down. Because this BUCS team, I don't think they are who their record is, and let me follow up with that. They are 7-9, but I don't think they're a 7-9 team. They played like one, but they're not. As far as their offense goes, this is a team that when they won 10 games last year, it made sense, right? And especially going to the start of this year, playing the same way. Baker's dealing. They got a Buka. They got Evans. We got Bucky Irving. We're rolling. And then it changed. Baker's production fell off. Mike Evans got injured. Where the fuck has BUCS been? This team changed. I don't know what changed. Was it the Mike Evans injury that changed the confidence level in this team moving forward? Was there a culture change in the locker room after a bad loss? Has Baker just been bad and it's bringing the team down? A lot of questions can be asked about this BUCS team. But one thing is for certain. There is still a lot, and I mean a lot, of talent on this Buccaneers team. I mean, we could talk about how bad they've been this year. But when it comes down to it, this 7-9 team needs one win to sneak into the playoffs. And who knows? Who knows with this team? Maybe, just maybe, they can beat one of the subject wildcard teams and run away with a playoff win as an 8-9 football team. There is a world that this happens. And that is because Baker is still a talented quarterback. I don't know whether it was a relationship with Todd Bowles or a lurking injury that was lesser known to the public, prior injury, or just poor play, right? Could have been any of those. But all we know is that they're not playing winning football, right? So something needs to change. But when you go up against a Carolina Panthers team in which their pass game probably can't match your pass game when you're clicking, when this BUCS team is clicking, they definitely outmatch the Panthers pass game, right? As far as the run game goes, I think the BUCS run game with Bucky may be lesser than the offensive rushing attack of Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard of the Carolina Panthers. But the Buccaneers' rushing defense, I think, makes up for any loss they have on this matchup. They have a good rush defense. I think they have a good matchup versus Rico Dowdle, and I think they're going to get stops. So I think even if their own run game isn't clicking, their defense makes up for that. And I think it all is going to come down to the pass game because of that. I don't think Carolina is going to get a rushing attack going. We know that the Buccaneers have a weaker pass defense, so Carolina should pick on that. So this is going to be a passing game, more of a touchdown over field goal type of game, which I don't really think Carolina is capable of keeping up in those type of games. If you threw them in that 49er versus Bear matchup, straight touchdown shootout, I don't think they compete. I think the Buccaneers, at the start of the year, they could have competed. Right now, maybe not. But if they get some momentum rolling, possibly. All I'm trying to say is that the Buccaneers are a better team, and I think they're winning this game. Am I going to be shocked if Carolina wins? No, because the Bucs haven't been playing good all year. Since, maybe week 4. I don't think either of these teams really deserve to be in the playoffs, but if one has to be, it's the Bucs. And if there's one team that I think can make a surprise first round win, it's the Bucs. And that's just my opinion. I think they have the better team, and they will take that 4 seed. And let's move on to a more important game. Maybe you thought I was talking about this matchup in the intro to the last game. NFC division on the line. Seeding on the line. Not only is seeding on the line, but a first round bye in the playoffs is on the line. The NFC West showdown between the 49ers and the Seahawks. Winner takes home the NFC West crown and the number 1 seed going into the NFC side of the playoffs. Seattle has controlled this number 1 seed for at least 2 to 3 weeks now. And San Fran, through all the injuries, have come from the ashes to even play for this game and how much it means as far as seeding goes. I mean, It is incredible. Just incredible that they're even here. I almost don't understand it, to be honest. You lose Fred Warner, you lose Nick Bosa, both out for the season. And for your defense to take that much of a punch, and you're still in the position to take the number 1 seed? I mean, the 49ers weren't in the conversation for weeks. It was the Bears for a bit. Before the Bears, it was Philly. After the Bears, now it's Seattle. It's been in team control all season, but the Niners have always just kind of been in the wild card, and the wild card, and the wild card, and the wild card. Boom. They beat the Bears in a shootout. And the Rams, their dumbasses, who should be playing in this game, lost to the Falcons. And now they are shit out of luck for the division. Going to one of these teams. Rams can't get the number 1 seed. One of these teams will. Now, as far as this game actually goes, I think it's actually going to go just like that Niners-Bears game. I think it's going to be one of those games that whoever has the ball in their hands last wins the football game. Now, I don't think that means it's going to be a shootout. I think it's just going to be that close that when it comes down to the fourth quarter, it's going to be a matter of time management and who can make the bigger play. Now, that's very vague because that's kind of how all, not all, but most of football games go. The better team controls the clock, makes the bigger play. But everyone plays their best when it's playoff time, and this is practically a playoff game with how much is on the line. Just to think, these teams are so good playing in this game. One of them is going to be hosting a playoff game and be the number 1 seed, right? The other one doesn't get to host a single game. Not one. Well, actually, that's not true. If it so happens the NFC Championship ends up being 2 wildcard teams, then maybe. But you get my point. They drop to a wildcard seed, you know? So, when you actually put these teams head to head, right? I think the Niners have so much momentum coming in that I would not be surprised if they win this game, right? Like I said, they came from the ashes. They weren't really being seriously talked about, but week by week by week, they've kind of built up this status of, hey, we're here. We have Brock Purdy playing his best football. Christian McCaffrey is still dealing, right? So through their injuries, they're here. And they match up with the Seattle team that I think is underrated, but kind of has a reason to be underrated. And let me explain. Seattle. Seattle is a team that is led by Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold is not a guy you could pencil in to have a good season every season. I know what we've seen the last 2 years. Balled out Kevin O'Connell on the Vikings. They let him walk for some fucking reason. They look stupid now, but goes to Seattle. He's playing well. He's an MVP candidate. Now he's had some shaky games, right? Pretty sure he had a 4-pick game. I'm going to say 3 or 4 weeks back. Now, every quarterback has a bad game, but Sam Darnold still has these stretches where the lights can be too bright for him. Now, they had a big win versus the Rams on Thursday night where they went for 2. They got it. They're in this position. Still go out and get the number 1 seed in this division title. But I think the reason they are so underrated is that reason being you cannot pencil in Sam Darnold to be that reliable guy. That is the sole reason they are underrated. I think this is a top 5 defense in football. And when there is a top 5 defense in football being talked about, you're going to be playing for the number 1 seed. You have been the number 1 seed, for the last couple of weeks or so. And they're still kind of underrated. I know the NFC seems more open this year, but as far as Seattle goes, you can't pencil in Sam Darnold to be that guy. Brock Purdy's playing like the guy right now. And if I'm the Seattle Seahawks, I'm scared shitless to play this team right now. I know how good this Seattle football team is. They are a full, rounded football team, and they have a good quarterback. But I would not be surprised, not one bit, if the 49ers' momentum passes the well-rounded, talented football team that is the Seattle Seahawks and wins this football game. But I don't think that's going to happen. Because although I could see a road, I could see a game, I could see a world where that happens. I think because Seattle is the better football team, they are going to win this game. Now, we saw over the past couple of weeks, Christian McCaffrey is still a force to be reckoned with, right? He's an all scrimmage yard yak fucking behemoth. Even though he's one of the smallest backs, right? He's a small back. But he's matching up with a good Seattle defense. And I think they match up well. I don't think that they're going to limit him as much as a top 5 defense should. But that just gives credit to Christian McCaffrey. And I think if the defense does enough, because they also have a better pass defense comparing to the 49ers. I think if the defense does enough, that if Sam Darnold even makes a couple mistakes in this big game, it could still be close enough that they could pull out a win, take this division crown, and get the number 1 seed. And I think that's what's going to happen. I can't guarantee you the type of game Sam Darnold is going to have, because when the lights are bright, who knows? He's had good games. He's had bad games. He's shaky. It's kind of up in the air. We don't really know. You can't pencil him in to be that guy. Just quite. He's shown a lot of good over the last 2 years. But like we saw last year, the Vikings, very good in the regular season. They step foot in those playoffs, they're gone. He's gone, right? Now, he still earned himself a contract, but now he's on a team doing the same exact thing, showing flashes of good. Not flashes of good, let's say the opposite. A good season, but flashes of bad. And now we don't know where to put him. They could definitely win this game like I think they will. But hell, the number 1 seed could take that bye, be handed the worst seed to face in the second round, which isn't really saying too badly about the worst seed because the NFC is stacked this year. And they could lose their first game just like that. That is why I think the Seahawks remain underrated, is because you just can't quite pencil them in. It's a good defense. It's a solid offense, more than a solid offense. And we'll see where it goes. I'm excited to watch that game. I think literally anything can happen. I think either defense can show up. Both run games can explode. Both pass games can explode. I think we're going to see another shootout. If the defenses show up a little bit and stop the art of the shootout, I could see that happening. Let's just look forward to Saturday night, NFC West on the line, where I will have the Seattle Seahawks coming out on top. And lastly, I wasn't truly going to get to this, but I do want to talk about this because it's still a level of importance. The Ravens, the Steelers, AFC North, same exact position as the NFC South, not the NFC West, because, different caliber of teams. but maybe not different caliber of organizations because the Steelers and the Ravens are two damn good organizations that are just in very weird spots right now. Both these teams are playing for an AFC North crown. One of them is out, one of them is in, and will host a playoff game, right? Lamar Jackson will be in, facing Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. I expect this to be a closer contest than people may expect. I think I know where people are leaning, but considering it's a playoff game, anything can happen, right? I wanted to talk about first the Steelers situation, and then the Ravens, and then the matchup. So the Steelers are going into this game with Aaron Rodgers, right? And I want to lead with the fact that I don't think this team is much different than they have been in the last 3 years. The only difference being is that they have a little bit, if not more, has been showed in the past couple of weeks, more production from the quarterback spot. Aaron Rodgers has stepped in and played better. The best option since Ben Roethlisberger, and those two are not getting me compared because, um, anyways, between the last three options, Aaron Rodgers has been better than Kenny Pickett. He's been better than Justin Fields, and he's been better than Russell Wilson, right? He's a solution, but he is only a temporary solution. And they know that. Rodgers is old. But that's why I'm saying this team is not different from the last couple of years. Because there's a ceiling they have with an older quarterback. And you know he's a future Hall of Famer, right? He's that type of player. I'm not going to say he's top 10 right now because he's not. But he's better than what they've had. And there's a chance they win this game and book their ticket to the playoffs. But I think as far as the next couple of years go, I think they should go out and get a guy like Ty Simpson in the draft. And I think they should let him sit behind Rodgers. I say you had Rodgers for one more year, right? You have Rodgers one more year. You get a guy like Ty Simpson to sit right behind him. You get to learn from Tomlin. You get to learn from a great at quarterback for one whole year with no pressure for you to even come in because although every team plays for a Super Bowl at the start of the year, I think their chances won't be, it'll just be another Mike Tomlin year, I can assume. A 9-8, a 10-7. One of those seasons. First round exit, whatnot, whatever. Rodgers goes out, and the next year, there's your hopes. You have a couple years to actually build around Simpson and what that could look like, Maybe build a better defense, maybe get a weapon or two on offense if they still have Metcalf or whatnot. And there's your team with Simpson. Mike Tomlin should still be there, and they could be a threat in a couple years. But as far as this year goes, as far as next year goes, I think this team has a ceiling, and I think we all know this, right? So as far as this game goes, I'd be leaning the other side. I'd be leaning toward the side of the Baltimore Ravens. And I think a lot of people might. Because the Ravens have been having a weird year, but they've found themselves in a good position right now. They started off 1-5. The fact that a 1-5 football team is playing for a division title in the last game of the season just shows how damn weird this AFC North division can be. The Browns are the Browns. They could have a top 5 defense and then just whatever you want to call it on offense, right? A quarterback catastrophe. Then the Bengals, Joe Burrow, or without, they have a a bottom tier worst defense in the league type of defense. Terrible. So, I guess you could have penciled in the Ravens to be competing for this division even when they were 1-5. And that's crazy. Actually crazy. As a Bears fan, we had to face them when they were 1-5. If we beat them that game, we might not be talking about this game right now between the Steelers and the Ravens. Lamar was out. We had to face Snoop Huntley. And I almost knew that was a game we're going to lose. One, you're facing a team that almost needs a win. I would say that's a must win if they wanted to make the playoffs. Playoffs? And two, the Ravens are a type of organization that can come back from that type of adversity. They just are. They're a good organization. They are built through a good front office and they have a good head coach. Obviously, they have a top three. If not top three, I'd say the best quarterback in football in Lamar Jackson. But he was injured. He's had so many injuries and illness this year. I mean, he has not been the same Lamar. But how can he? We know what injuries can do to a quarterback. So, give credit to him. Give credit to this team for punching back, for putting themselves in this position to be in this game and to win. I think it's possible. And I think they could do it. Derrick Henry won so many people their fantasy leagues. He is still a force to be reckoned with for the Ravens. And I just think that's a better team. Straight up. It's a matchup that we're still gonna watch. Everybody's still gonna watch because of course, playoff implications. But I think this might be my easiest pick. Might be easier than the Panthers Bucks pick. That Bucks pick I guess was somewhat easy for talking about a 7-9 football team that I said could win a first round matchup. And I stand by that, but this may be easier because the Steelers are going to hit their ceiling and shit's going to hit the fan. Give me the Ravens. Give them the 4 seed and they punch their ticket to the playoffs. Or can they win a first round matchup? I think the Bucks can. I think they can. It's the Ravens. I mean, just last year, we all know Mark Andrews drops the pass. One pass away from making the AFC Championship. And with a weaker Chiefs team, we could be talking about a Ravens Eagles game last Super Bowl instead of the Chiefs going for the 3P, right? The Ravens could have actually got to that point. Lamar could have played for his ring. You know, it's all up in the air. But could we go as far as saying they could still make that type of run if Lamar's healthy? I mean, at the end of the day, if they get there, everyone's healthy and they're in the playoffs. Anything can fucking happen when you have a quarterback that good. Generational. Hall of Famer. Watch out. Ravens can make a push that nobody, and I mean nobody, thought would happen. Maybe me, 1-5 Bears fan. Oh, we have to face a 1-5 Ravens. We're gonna make the playoffs. Sure, we don't lose to Snoop Huntley. Wrong. That is my predictions for the Week 18 matchups that have significant playoff implications. I think shit's going to go down. We're going to watch some good football games. I think we're going to be surprised, especially in the NFC West showdown. I think a lot's going to go down in that game. We are going to be watching some good football and some meaningful football. And for all those college fans out there, this is when college is getting good too. It's a good time to be a football fan, let me tell you that. And if you are a football fan and you like my content, you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and hit the subscribe button. We're brand new. Let's get rolling. Let's get to it. I thank you guys for watching. I've been Inside the Gear Football. I'll see you guys in the next one.